I listened out for the sirens of police cars, expecting to hear them at any moment. I kept thinking, they're coming for me. This is the end. The Mata are going to catch me and throw me in jail forever. I said out loud, "You're finished. This really is the end for you." Hearing my own voice calmed me. Nothing had ever felt so absolute and certain. The police would arrive, they would lock me up, and from then on, all my days would be the same. The thought of being in a small empty cell with nothing to think about for the rest of my life, the idea of this existence comforted me. When I woke up each morning, I would see the same four walls that had been there when I fell asleep the night before. Nothing would ever change. What I wore, how long I slept each night, how many times a day I could eat, wash, shit. Every decision would be made for me. I would be just the same as everyone else. Someone would take control of my life, and that would be the end of my story. Part of me still wishes things had turned out that way. I walked through the long grass. It was stringy and sharp and slashed my legs right up to my knees. It was hot. I was wearing shorts. My skin started to sting. Twice, maybe 3 times, I crossed a bridge and continued to wander along the opposite bank. At first I was looking for my car, but soon I realized I was trying to get as far away from the scene of the crime as possible. The only problem was that I couldn't remember exactly where it had happened. At some point I started to feel mud between my toes, and I realized I'd lost one sandal, which must have got stuck in the swampy ground, so I kicked off the other and walked barefoot. It was late, but not so late that there wasn't any traffic on the highways beyond, and on the bridges overhead. Their headlamps would sometimes illuminate the tops of the trees above me. And suddenly, little details would leap out at me. Things I wouldn't have noticed if I had been walking there in the daytime. Kites with smiley bird faces snagged in the branches, or plastic bags, lots of them, hanging like swollen ghost-like fruit. Sometimes I'd see strange shapes drifting in the middle of the river, fallen tree trunks and bushes uprooted by the storms upstream, tangled together in huge rafts that looked like some sort of mythical beast from Journey to the West, the kind of nonsense that adults tell children to scare them into behaving themselves, but that no one actually takes seriously, not even children. What kid actually believes in a 9-headed bug? Until one night they're walking alone on a riverbank, and then those demons seem real and terrifying. Other times, snagged in the reeds right by where I was walking, I'd see a dead creature, a body so bloated that I couldn't even tell what it was. A could-be cat or a could-be monkey. When a body's been in the water for that long, its shape starts to blur, softening around the edges until it becomes impossible to distinguish one kind of animal from another. My arm ached. I was moving in a funny way, one side of my body less mobile than the other. I realized that I was still holding the piece of wood, the length of tree branch that had felt so light in my hand just a short while ago, but now seemed to weigh 100 pounds. During the trial, when people in court referred to the murder weapon that was never retrieved, I remembered the damp 2-foot piece of wood that I held that night. It was just a fragment of a tree. A few hours earlier, when I'd struck the man for the first time, the broken length of wood had seemed so insignificant that I thought it incapable of causing pain. I expected it to shatter. I expected the man to laugh at my ridiculous choice of weapon. Now it felt as if I was lifting an entire tree, the weight of the world clinging to its roots. I raised my arm, wanting to throw it far out into the middle of the river, but suddenly I found that I had no strength left in my body. It slipped from my grasp and fell just a few feet away. I realized after a while that the police were not going to arrive. No one was going to come for me. Not that night, not the following day, and maybe not for weeks. In the end, it took them more than 2 months to arrest me. But you already know that. You also know why it took so long. When the victim is that sort of person, the police don't really care.